Hey everybody, this is Nerd Bomber here, one of the co-hosts of the Online Warriors podcast. Our weekly podcast started as a way for three friends to keep in touch and discuss their passion for movies, gaming, technology, and entertainment. And since then, we've grown into a fantastic online community. Every Wednesday, we release a new episode discussing the latest nerdy news, and then we go hands-on with our weekly adventures and a fun trivia show. Sound interesting? Check us out on every podcast platform, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or hit us up at onlinewarriorspodcast.com.
It's time to get nerdy. It's the 30 and Nerdy podcast with your hosts, Josh Davis and Tyler McDaniel. Brought to you by Advertising Expressions, Encore Theatrical Company, Freddy Cat Productions. 30 and Nerdy is a Next Wave podcast and a Badcast Company production. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Join the conversation using the hashtag 30andNerdyPod. Find us in the Pod Nation on podchaser.com and rate this episode. Got something to say? Let us know. Email us at 30andnerdypod@gmail.com. Cheers to you, nerds. And now your hosts, Josh Davis and Tyler McDaniel.
What's up, nerds and nerdettes? This is the podcast where everyone knows your name.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Tyler, and this is 30 and Nerdy. And we are coming at you from the Fortress of Nerditude with yours truly, the registered nerd practitioner, the founder of Nerdledge, the Andy Bro nerd of this office, the Mac. And always great to be joined by my co-host, the juicy one, the nerdtorious JLD with his PhD in nerdology, Sergeant Fat Sound Effect himself. That one was good.
Yeah?
I haven't heard that in years. Gosh. Dr. Davis.
Mr. McDaniel.
I haven't been called Mr. McDaniel in years. So, if you are listening to us, thank you for joining us again. We missed you. You were missed. I know you missed us. And if you are just tuning in to 30 and Nerdy, we are also on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, the one you're listening to us on right now, and of course we have a YouTube channel. You can catch us on CastBox FM, and also on podchaser.com. Now, what we like about Podchaser is you don't just rate shows there, but you rate individual episodes. And when you rate our episodes and shows, we hope that you'll give us 5 stars. And if you didn't think it was 5-star worthy, you still need to let us know, because that lets us know what you like and what you don't like.
But give us the 5 stars anyway.
Yes.
Or else.
And then an individual email. Be like, I gave you 5 stars, but I didn't like it. And we'll just be like, okay, we'll do less of that in the future. But thank you for your 5 stars.
Maybe.
Possibly. No, we kid. We listen to you. We listen to the nerds out in the nerdiverse. You can also follow along the conversation while you're listening. Let us know what you're thinking at hashtag 30andnerdypod on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you are social media at these days. We are there as well, so let us know. So, what's up, Doc?
I got a lot on my mind. First of all, I'm thinking, how come Cherry Coke isn't a sponsor of the show? We have cracked open so many Cherry Cokes throughout the past year of recording this podcast. There's a whole wall here in the fortress, ladies and gentlemen. You can't see it, but sitting next to me, I have a wall of stacked up cans of Cherry Coke because we stay up late doing this show.
Get the caffeine going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Working hard for you nerds out there.
You the people.
And you just heard we just released
Yes.
A few hours ago,
by the time you're listening to this. Actually, by the time you're listening to this episode, it was Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So a couple days.
A couple days before you're listening to this, we, of course, between me having a show and illness striking the city of Morristown, we had to postpone a couple of weeks. So we have been busting our butts to keep up and to hash out the entire season, so we're not behind.
Yeah.
And we had to record 2 or 3 in a row to catch up on the schedule. So we are now caught up.
Yeah.
So this past Monday, as you are listening to this, it's Wednesday. So this past Monday, we released our Theater Nerd one, our second one.
Yeah.
To Nerd or Not to Nerd, Act 2.
And just when you thought we were done, just when you thought you were rid of the 30 and Nerdy boys, bam, boom, we come back
Here's your
at you
next
again
weekly one.
with this one right here.
And this
Look
one,
out.
This one is fantastic. But Mondays, you should definitely check that out because we had a lot of people enjoy the first Theater Nerd one we did, so we did a second one. But the cool thing about this one is we not only bring you new theater terms to educate you, we also talk about different theater nerds that we have met in our past.
Yeah.
And everyone knows these people.
Probably pretty recognizable
Yes.
to you if
Yes.
you have been involved in the theater.
And we also discuss some etiquette
We did.
of the theater.
Which is
Whether
good for
you
everyone
be
to
in
know.
the seats watching or on the stage performing, etiquette follows you everywhere. So we did break down some of the most important rules in the theater.
Yeah.
So we hope that you'll check that out and share it and let us know what you think. And especially with having to do 2 episodes, it's been a lot. But here we are on this one. This one is pretty exciting. We haven't talked enough about video games.
Not nearly
Just here
enough.
and there. So recently, IGN released the top 20 video games of the past decade. So we thought we would do an entire episode talking about the past decade of video games.
Yeah.
And when I went and did the research for this episode, it has definitely been the decade of the war games. And I'm not talking about old wrestling. I'm talking about war video games.
Oh, war games like
Yes,
the
like,
event.
like wrestling. Yeah, war games. Haha. So this week we are going to be talking about the top 20 video games of the past decade. We're also going to be breaking down a new nerdcabulary word and talking nerd news.
We are. But first,
Yes. But first,
I have more things on my mind.
what is that?
Well, folks, ladies and gentlemen, you are currently witnessing, well, I guess you're not witnessing. You are listening to, you are hearing the end of an era. He didn't want me to bring it up, I can tell by the expression on his miserable little face over there. Our friend Tyler here, he's about to step out and take forth on a new journey, a new adventure. He's going to pack up and move to Atlanta. We're super excited for him. It's going to be a big change, but it's going to be a good change. Great things are going to happen. He's going to try out this whole starving artist thing for a little bit, I guess. It's going to be great. But never fear, people. The show will go on. You can't get rid of us that easily.
Exactly.
We've already got things planned out. We already have a system in place of how we're going to do things. It's going to be great.
And we have already practiced that system, and you all have no idea that we did it.
Lots
Because
of you
it's-
don't.
Yeah, a lot of you did not know we practiced that system because it worked seamlessly.
It was great.
Yeah. I'm like I told you off air. I'm like a duck on a pond. On the surface, the duck is calm and collected, but under that water, those feet are going 100
Just
miles
kicking,
a minute, just kicking, trying to stay afloat. So I'm very excited, very nervous. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but yeah.
It's going to be great, man. It really
is.
is. And in all seriousness, it was about this time a year ago that
Yeah.
I was sitting at my friend David's house, and we were watching this video of these 2 guys on Good Mythical Morning. I think that's the name of the show. And I thought, hey, I could do something like, I mean, not as good as them, of course, but I could do something kind of like this. And the first person I think of course, is the person sitting right across from me. So I hit him up and I said, hey, what if we did this podcast stop thing? And he was like, I don't even have to think about it. Yes. And, we've done a lot of work on this thing over the past year. And, it was just for fun and everything. But for 2 dudes sitting in my basement with a computer and 2 microphones and a bunch of Cherry Coke,
In Morristown, Tennessee.
we're really not doing too bad with
No,
this
we're
thing.
not.
And it's really been a lot of fun. And
is.
I'm so glad that we've, experienced this thing together. And I'm excited for the next step of your journey. It's going to be a little different for us. I'm going to be looking at an empty chair next time we record, which will be a little weird. But you know what? It's not like I'm not going to still see you all the time. So,
Yeah,
and it'll just make the episodes when we do get together that much more
absolutely. It'll be monumental.
special.
So we're going to get to the rest of our episode after a word from our sponsor.
Yeah. Oh, right. Our friends over at Encore Theatrical Company are giving you the opportunity to experience live theater for free. That's right, absolutely on the house. Encore's Young Stars are performing their production of Disney's Beauty and the Beast Jr. on February 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, right here in East Tennessee. On February 6th, you can catch the show at Cott County High School in Newport at 7 p.m., February 7th at Maury Middle School in Dandridge at 7 p.m., February 8th, you have 2 chances to see the show at Manly Baptist Church in Morristown at 3 and 7 p.m. And also on February 9th at Creative Theater in Sevierville at 3 p.m. Make sure you check out the show if you're in the East Tennessee area. And to get more information, you can go to etcplays.org.
All right. So, since we're talking video games, and we do not talk them enough, and I am sure that there are even nerds out there that aren't really gaming nerds. So I thought, kind of like we did with theater, I have some different terminology used in video games amongst video game nerds, if you will, that I thought might help people when they hear them out in the wild.
This could be helpful to me as well.
Yes. So, and especially today, technology, you hear the term backward compatible a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, especially with new game systems coming out. Backward compatible, it's a game system that supports games that were made for the previous version of that system.
Yes.
For instance, and Xbox Gold, as well as Game Pass, is doing a lot of this in the Xbox world, and I'm sure PlayStation did the same thing. The Xbox One came out. However, it is releasing some games like Left 4 Dead 2 that you can play on Xbox One. It's not an Xbox One game. It's an Xbox 360 game.
Right.
But the fact that you can play a 360 game on an Xbox One makes it backwards compatible.
So this is a good thing to know if you're a parent or a grandparent and you're purchasing things for the child in your life. These are the questions to ask. Is this system backwards compatible? Is this game backwards compatible?
Yes, absolutely.
These are the questions.
So, moving on is ESRB.
Oh, very good.
Do you know what this is?
I do. This is the rating system.
Yes. For a video game.
Yes.
Entertainment Software Ratings Board. An industry organization that has developed a rating system for computer and video games. Mm-hmm. That's where you'll see E for everyone, M for mature. What was the first M for mature game that you ever got to play?
Ooh. What year was the rating thing started? Because
they were on 64 games.
Okay, so I played the original Doom on the computer. Pretty sure that would be...
Yeah, that was definitely rated mature. I cannot remember if my first one, it was a 64 game, was either Duke Nukem or Turok. One of those two. They were both rated mature. Yeah. I cannot remember which one I played first. But at first I was like, what's so mature about it?
Yeah.
And then I played Duke Nukem and I was like, oh, wow.
Again, if you're a parent, pay attention to the ratings, people. If your kid wants a game for Christmas or a birthday and you bring it home and they pop it in and they're like shooting people up and you're offended by this, pay attention to the rating. If there's a big M on the front down in the corner, that means it's not for your little one.
Absolutely. It reminds me of when the first Deadpool movie came out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all the marketing was hitting and it was very vocal. The marketing was very vocal about... This is not for children. It's a rated R movie. When I went opening night of Deadpool in Pigeon Forge, there was a 6-year-old on a mother's lap in front of us, and she was complaining the entire time on how offensive this was. And I was like, you lived under a rock then.
See, and that's even worse because, like, the ratings for movies, everybody knows about that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this movie's R-rated.
Yeah, you've
know
been
that.
living under a rock.
Not
if you
everybody
didn't know
knows
Deadpool was
about
rated R.
Yeah, not everybody knows about the game rating thing. Like when I used to work at GameStop,
Yeah.
if we sold people M games, like we had to make sure to point it out to them. And this woman on Black Friday bought Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and I said, just so you know, this game is rated mature. She's like, oh, he's like 5, he'll be fine, it's okay. And I don't know if she meant like she had a really super mature 5-year-old, or he's 5, it's all going to go over his head. But either way, I didn't think that was a good idea.
So, and this one is a very popular word these days, NPC, non-playable character.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a game character under the control of an AI. For instance, if you were playing Skyrim, okay, the only NPCs that don't exist is you, pretty much. It's a world of NPCs.
Yeah, everybody's an NPC.
Everybody is an NPC.
Except the character you're playing.
Except the character you're playing. However, there are some games like arcade-based games. Everyone's a playable character. So that term really started coming to light in the previous era of video games. Big RPGs, like the Elder Scrolls, the Zelda games, stuff like that.
Sure. Any type of game where like role playing.
Yes.
There's a ton of it in that. So
Yes.
if you think back to the earliest role playing games you played, there was probably a lot of NPCs in that game.
Yes, and speaking of, that's our next term.
Okay.
RPG. Role-playing game. A game in which the gamer takes on the part of the character. Now, technically, every game is a role-playing game. But it can be kind of subdivided into a definition of you pick up a different sword, it changes your sword. You pick up different armor, it changes your armor. Your actions control the outcome of the game.
We most commonly refer to things like where you choose the character's morality. Is he going to be a good guy or a bad guy? What's he going to say? Is he going to be helpful to people, or is he going to shoot them in the face?
Yes.
That type of thing.
Absolutely. And the last one is analog control.
Mm-hmm.
A type of controller that is sensitive to the degree in which a button or joystick is pushed.
Which is the way most games are today.
Yes. In
1995, we wouldn't have dreamed of such a thing.
No, we would not have. Those Super Nintendo controllers were not very sensitive.
No.
As a matter of fact, I probably went through a few Super Nintendo controllers because they weren't sensitive enough, I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And that B button just would not push fast enough or hard enough. Yeah. And I would break my controllers quite a bit. Yeah. So I'd have to get another controller.
I think I ever did that. My hands would get really sweaty from holding the controllers so tight.
Yes. And funny story, when the Mario Party games really got started with Nintendo 64, my brother Nolan was extremely good at this one mini game, and all you had to do in the mini game was spin that center joystick, spin it like crazy.
Yeah,
one day he played that game so much that he blistered a perfect circle into his hand, the palm of his hand.
That's what we call dedication.
That is dedication. But yeah, those are some of your vocabulary words for video gaming. I hope it taught some of you all. If you have not heard any of those terms, memorize them, especially those rating ones, parents.
Yeah, you need to know it.
If any parents listen.
And if you have questions about anything else with video games,
let us know.
Up.
Absolutely.
We're nice guys. We won't bite.
Yeah. Not too hard, at least. So, why don't we get on to your favorite segment?
Let's do it.
It's called What You Watching. So, JD, what you watching?
I really don't have much to say this time around because
you binged a lot.
I really have just been focusing a lot on the Clone Wars, and we've talked about Star Wars for like 2 months straight, and I don't want to make people sick of it, but I did finish the Clone Wars. I talked about that on the last episode. Mm-hmm. It was great. I am watching Rebels now. I'm about midway through season 2, so I am burning it down.
So which one do you like better?
I think I like Clone Wars better.
Yeah,
I really do. The complaint that so many people have had is, well, it's a cartoon, it's for kids, right? Yeah. Well, yeah, but there's a lot of good story.
That's true. It's not for kids.
But this one is extra cartoonish, I think, Rebels is.
Yeah.
And this was really, Clone Wars was Cartoon Network. It was not Disney affiliated.
No.
Rebels came from Disney XD, which is,
very childish.
It's Disney. So there's still some depth to it, and there's a lot of connections to the Clone Wars, a whole lot. And there's some, like the end of season 1 and beginning of season 2, that whole little span of time was top notch. Great stuff. So I'm enjoying that. But I also like Clone Wars more because it's characters that I know and I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
You know, there's Yoda and Obi-Wan and Anakin, and all of them are in the episodes. And it's a whole new set of characters for the most part.
Now, but wouldn't Rebels technically be the original trilogy since they're called Rebels?
Yes. So Rebels takes place, like, I think a couple years before Episode 4.
Yes.
So the original Star Wars. It's like right in that time span. So this is after the events of the Clone Wars.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I texted you and Logan in the group, and I said I just watched a movie that the two of you absolutely need to see. It's called The Rise of Superheroes.
Okay.
And I mean, it is a phenomenal. I mean, it's a 2-hour documentary about basically the birth of the genre.
Yeah, I love documentaries.
All starting with that Batman '89. Like, that's when it really became a brand. They're like, yeah, we had some live action Adam West stuff. We had some, Superman back in the day. But this was the first time, apparently, that you saw non-nerds branded with the bat.
Where might one catch this documentary?
You can get this on Amazon if you have Prime.
Oh, perfect.
It's on Prime.
Good.
And it's also on Vudu. If you don't do Prime and you do Vudu, to where you can rent and buy stuff. And Vudu actually started doing free stuff too with ads.
Good.
So Vudu or Amazon Prime, or of course I'm sure you can buy it somewhere else, like off of wherever,
iTunes or something
like that. But it is phenomenal. It goes from '89 to legitimately a little bit before Infinity War. It ends, you can tell that they stopped taking in footage around the hiring of, maybe Civil War, around Holland's hiring.
Okay.
And a little bit after that. But, I mean, it goes from Batman '89 all the way up through today's stuff. So
Excellent.
It covers literally the history.
I definitely will watch
It's
that.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
I love documentaries, and if it's about superheroes, one of my favorite topics of
absolutely.
all time, I'm there for that.
I highly recommend it to you. I'll check that out. So why don't we move on to the nerd news? All right, time for some nerd news. It is rumored at Paramount that the Transformiverse is now split into 2 separate universes. The new universe that Bumblebee is set in, and the reboot universe that is heading in the Beast Wars direction.
Did you see Bumblebee?
No.
I did.
Thoughts? He's your favorite, so.
It was okay. I liked it.
That's one Cena's in?
Yeah, John Cena is in that one. But I couldn't see him.
Gotcha.
I heard he was a part of it.
Yeah.
But I never saw him.
He has that problem. I'm kind of excited that there's thought of going in the Beast Wars direction because I loved that show.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed that show. Megatron as a T-Rex. It was just really cool. The new Pirates of the Caribbean franchise will be getting not just a reboot, but what sounds like a new revamp or redo. Though Disney recently said that they wanted was a reboot, they have changed their heading. It is reported that they may suggest a live-action Disney Plus series with a younger Jack Sparrow. One name mentioned in talks is Zac Efron.
I don't know about Zac Efron or not, but I think
would like a young Jack Sparrow.
I think that's
series.
a better idea than rebooting everything.
Yes. It's
stick
really
to-
not been that long.
No, it hasn't.
So, another movie, especially rebooted, I would be like, I'm not going to see it because I just saw him.
And people love Jack Sparrow,
Yeah.
so stick to it.
Yeah, I don't know about Zach, but I like the idea of a Disney Plus series, especially if it's...
I think Zac Efron is totally capable.
Absolutely.
I mean, he did the Ted Bundy thing, and
Yeah.
that was a big deal.
Oof, that was
he can
powerful.
He can do anything. I'm sure. I have faith in him.
Yeah.
But
Can
kind of
sing
like
and dance and shoot a basketball at the same time.
there you go. But kind of like Rob Pattinson, he's not the person I first think of when I think
you think
of
Jack
young
Sparrow?
Jack Sparrow.
I got you. Moving on. Taron Egerton is in talks to play Seymour in the remake of Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay.
Also, I don't know how I feel about it. remaking the movie.
I did not see Rocket Man yet, so I don't know.
Phenomenal.
I heard nothing but good things about it, so I don't know how I feel about this guy. But I did see The Kingsman.
Yeah.
I didn't like those very much.
But Taron's the voice to the gorilla in Sing, isn't
And
he?
he's that too.
Great voice. But I don't know. I just don't know if we need a reboot to Little Shop. I mean, the Rick Moranis movie is still, it's a classic. It's still pretty good to me.
Yeah, but it wasn't really the same as like the stage musical though. Like there
No.
were some differences that I
There
think
are.
they could incorporate into this
The
version.
movie had kind of a good ending. So, it's a lot different. Moving on. In a recent interview, Lin-Manuel Miranda stated that the Hamilton movie will be a film of the original show for the big screen. And it would seem that the, what's now hashtag Hamill film, is being produced by Disney. Disney bought the rights.
Lin-Manuel Miranda works very closely with Disney,
Yes.
so that
It doesn't
that would
shock me.
That would not have happened if he wasn't comfortable with it.
No,
You know what I mean?
No.
Uh,
But it's just it's their cast recording.
Let's just hope that it's better than Cats,
Oh,
which I didn't see.
Again, I think that's why they're doing the cast recording, basically,
Yeah.
of the original cast, because don't touch it. You know, I think Cats just learned don't change it.
Yeah.
They would have been better off to do a stage version of.
Well, from what Kevin Smith says about it, from what he knows about it, it sounds like production of that movie was just a nightmare to begin with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that has a big effect on your final product.
Yeah, pretty much. Dot Jones, known as Coach Beast in Glee,
Oh, yeah.
just got cast as Dennis Dupree in Broadway's revival of The Rock of Ages,
Hey.
marking her as the first female Dennis on Broadway.
Interesting. I'm
I
sure
can
she'll
see
be
it.
great.
We've done Rock of Ages,
Yeah.
and our good friend Ian was Dennis. He was fantastic at it. I think she'll be good. It'll be intriguing.
I agree.
I think it's an intriguing choice. Today is Warwick Davis' 50th birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
When I say Warwick Davis, what's the first thing you think of?
I think of Wicket the Ewok in Return of the Jedi, or I think of Willow,
What about Professor Flitwick?
Professor Flitwick as well,
Or the Leprechaun?
or the Leprechaun.
Ooh. He's had a heck of a career.
Yeah.
I got to meet, not Wicket, when I was doing the comedy bit at the Opry, one of the other Ewoks from Star Wars just happened to be in Pigeon Forge doing a
Interesting.
signing, and he decided to come see the show.
Hey.
He was not a named Ewok, but he had all these pictures on his phone.
He was there.
He was an Ewok.
That counts.
So it was pretty cool. So, did you see any of the Super Bowl? And
Not
when
much.
I say that,
I saw
did
the
you see the commercials?
I saw the parts that people talked about.
Yes. Okay.
I heard something about a Google commercial that was supposed to be like a big tearjerker. I haven't seen that because I'm not interested in crying. But I did see the MCU commercial, which, let's be real, that's really the only one that truly matters.
Yes. What'd you see?
I saw Falcon throwing the shield into the tree, practicing with it. We got to see some glimpses of WandaVision, like Vision and Scarlet Witch in different settings.
Yes.
So it's like a multiverse type deal, I guess. And there was like a little glimpse of the Loki show where I think he was saying something about like how he was going to break out or
He's going to burn it down.
something like that. But yeah.
They showed a little bit of who was the bad guy in Civil War?
Oh, Baron Zemo.
Zemo.
Yeah.
Zemo is back.
I saw
in
that.
little
Yeah.
snippet with Winter Soldier, so that'll be kind of intriguing to see them reconnect.
You know, if Mandalorian is just a little taste of what we're going to get out of the Disney Plus original series
I'm excited.
for nerds, you know,
Yeah,
it's going to be fantastic, guys.
absolutely.
And
Did
they
you-
say that, you know, these shows are so good and so important that you have to see them to keep up with what's going on in the movies.
In the universe, in the
So,
film. Yeah.
That'll be great.
And we got a really good Black Widow trailer.
A new one?
Newest one.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
It was really good. Got to see a little bit more of her talking like, you know, she just got through Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
This takes place after Civil War. And in this dialogue, she's saying, before I had this family, I had another family.
Right.
And does a little bit more, gets to see a little bit more of Taskmaster, which is really cool. He looks awesome. Let's see. Did you see the halftime show?
I saw bits
I
and
enjoyed
pieces
it.
of it.
It was good. Powerful. Those two still got it.
Yeah, they do.
Golly.
Yeah.
And they were killing it when we were in middle school.
Yeah.
And elementary school for J-Lo.
J-Lo's 50 and Shakira's like 46 or something.
Ridiculous.
So, you go,
and I'm
girls.
30. And I can. They've got more stamina than I do.
Well, they're professionals.
They are professionals. They are professionals, and they are not drinking a lot of cherry Coke, probably.
These cherry Cokes really slow us down.
They do. They do indeed. My dietitian, Kira, will not like that one bit.
Sorry, Kira. Have we talked about Edge at all?
Oh my gosh! You read my mind! Edge. The rated R superstar. The ultimate opportunist.
Yeah, that guy.
Returned at the Royal Rumble. And not just returned. Not like, oh, I'm the new GM type of return. I can't take a bump.
A new on-screen role.
He returned.
He was throwing spears out to everybody.
He lasted to the top 3 of the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he had triple neck fusion.
Something like that.
Something that's supposed to be career-ending.
The narrative that he has given over the past 9 years is that he will never get in the ring again.
Yeah.
Because it's just not worth the risk. I mean, he does have a family now and all that, but I guess modern medicine or something, Daniel Bryan, he had a similar deal happen where he thought he'd never wrestle again, and he's killing it now. He's been back for a couple years
held
now.
a title since he returned.
All that stuff. Why not Adam Copeland as well, Edge?
Oh my gosh, I was
I
was excited.
I didn't think it was going to happen.
I really didn't. Like there was some like talk and chatter about it, like he's in Houston, and I was like, he can be in Houston all he bloody wants to. He can be backstage and watch the Rumble
old
and
guys
see his friends
come around,
they do that
things
all the time. But with his music hit, man, I was like, okay.
Yeah, it
What
kind
are
of
we
took me
doing
a second
here?
to register what was happening. Then I was like, all right, okay.
Okay.
So I guess we will catch him at WrestleMania this year.
Very excited, which we're going.
Yeah, we'll be there.
The show will be there. It's in Tampa. We're going to dress as pirates.
Yeah.
Maybe a hybrid of pirate and wrestler. What are some of the names? That we were Rowdy.
Macho Man Randy Pirate.
Yes,
Oh,
Macho-
arg.
Oh, arg. Walk the plank, brother. Let me tell you something. Rips his shirt, eye patch on.
We should explain the reason we're dressing up as pirates is because that's the theme of WrestleMania.
It's at
like
Tampa.
the Buccaneer Stadium.
Buccaneer Stadium. So you've got the ship there. It's pirate themed. So why not dress as a pirate? If you're going to WrestleMania, let us know.
We should have a pirate revolution.
We should. The pirates should take over.
They can't ignore us all.
They can't. Can't stop us all. We will bring a revolution like the Yes Movement did.
Yes.
It'll be the ARG movement.
Yes.
I like it. So if you guys are going to WrestleMania, let us know. We'd love to meet up with some of y'all if you're listening, and maybe we'll bring some swag in the stadium with us. They'll be like, why are you carrying a bunch of 30 and nerdy hats? And be like, do you want one? But we're very excited, and that is the end of your News of Nerd.
Need a commercial? How about a promotional video for your upcoming event or production? Let the coolest cats in town take care of you. The professionals at Freddy Cat have the knowledge, ability, and experience to serve all of your visual marketing needs. They do feature films, documentaries, corporate videos, commercials, music videos, and weddings. You can reach Freddy Cat Productions at 423-231-2839 or at freddycatproductions.com. And we're back.
Yes.
We have returned just in time to on some video games.
Video games.
Specifically
Specifically, the top 20 video games of
Wow.
the past decade. Say over the past decade, video games have grown exponentially.
yes.
We've gotten multiple new consoles. Handheld gaming has been rebooted to the next level. Even cell phones have become kind of a video game platform.
Absolutely.
With like Fortnite Mobile and Call of Duty Mobile. And this new release of iTunes Arcade. So it's really a crazy thing to think about where we were the previous decade
Yeah.
to now. The 20 teens have been a grand time for developers and game fans alike. Crowning the champion, personally, is obviously a very subjective answer. So we would probably say the champion of the past decade was way different than this list actually says, and we would probably have different answers as well.
Yeah.
So what we did is we went off of IGN's report of the top 20 games by sales. So these are all not subjective answers. These are facts based off of money.
And the results might surprise you.
Yes. I was a little surprised. I was probably more surprised to see so much of the same title in the last decade.
Right.
Which really, if you look at the previous decade, which we will later, we'll even get a glimpse of what the previous decade's top 20 was, just so we can have a little comparison.
Yeah.
Play a little game.
See how things have changed.
Yeah. So I figured we would just go through the top 20 and maybe talk a little bit about, if we've played them, if we've not, if we even like that franchise or genre or whatever. So let's do descending order, starting with 20. I'll start us out.
Sounds good.
Star Wars Battlefront 2015.
Yeah.
Now, we played this.
We did.
Quite a bit.
We played this one together.
Yes.
Which
together.
we don't get to do very much, but
very
we did.
rare. It's very, very rare. It was kind of fun.
I liked it
for
a lot.
a time.
Yeah.
It eventually got old.
Yeah. And it didn't have a campaign with it, which was one thing that I felt was missing. And then the sequel, they did include a campaign.
A cool
with
campaign.
It was
really cool.
really great.
Good story.
But I mean, it's Star Wars, so I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to play competitively, especially online. But I did play online a lot with this one, and I was okay.
Yeah.
But some people are far more dedicated than myself, so I would get wiped out like 20 deaths to like my 10 kills.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I did like it. Kind of felt like an old school split screen game to where like you'd beat one tier and then it would get a little harder each tier.
Oh, yeah.
And
the waves of the bad guys.
Yeah, the waves of the bad guys would come in, and then before you know it, you get an ATST on your tail, and it was really cool. I proved that I'll be the first to say it. In those games, and our friends Caleb and Brett, they would happily say the same thing about Halo. I'm not the best teammate in these games because when I'm told, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to edge this cliff.
Strategy.
We're going to take this slowly. I am Leroy Jenkins.
Oh.
I do bust in with the grenade launcher saying, I'm taking this all down. That is me. I have not grown out of that. So,
this is why we don't play together.
It might be.
Did you ever play the original Battlefront, like from the early 2000s?
Lord, no, actually I did not.
Yeah.
That was original Xbox, correct?
I played it on the PC back then.
Might be a PC game, yeah. I've never been a big PC gamer.
Me neither, except
I've
for
tried
early on
to get into like the Warcraft
discs,
yeah. Not World of Warcraft, but like those old discs.
Yeah.
And Diablo 2, I played
games,
Diablo 2. But I've just never been a big PC gamer. I know there is a following out there. But
like middle school, I was
yes.
a PC gamer.
Yes. So shall we move on?
Let's do it. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the new Nintendo consoles, the Switch.
Yes.
This is a very, very popular game. I'm actually surprised that it's so far down on the list.
Yeah.
This is a huge open world game. I know people who have spent literally hundreds of hours playing this game. I had it in my possession for a short time, and I didn't play it once.
Well, I think it's low on the list because, no offense to the old school platform, but Nintendo itself, I did not even dream or fathom in buying a DS or a Switch or any of those modern Nintendo games. Since the 64 went out, Nintendo has been out the door for me because they have not grown the way that the other platforms have grown.
That's true.
Big systems. And I'm not a handheld gamer anymore. I'm not.
I did get the Switch because Mario is just fun to have.
Yeah.
Especially like, a group
Well,
group thing,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
everybody likes to play Mario Kart and all
Agreed.
that stuff. But when I found out that they were doing the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch, I had to have a Switch, so I got it mainly for that
Your
purpose.
thoughts on that game?
It's okay. It doesn't hold up to the originals, not even by a long shot. I never even finished it. I will one day.
Do you think it's because it's on a different platform?
No, it's just like the style of the game was a little different. I think it was sort of made a little more child friendly.
Gotcha.
A little more kid friendly.
Gotcha.
That's just me though.
Yeah, I used to be a big Legend of Zelda fan. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, even the old Game Boy games. But I just I didn't buy one, so I couldn't play it.
I hear you.
But heard great things. Moving on, number 18, Destiny.
Yeah,
Did you play this?
I did. I've actually still got it on my shelf, I think.
I did not.
Destiny was sort of, it reminded me a little bit of games like World of Warcraft. Obviously, a totally different style and game engine and all that stuff. The gameplay is completely different, but in the fact that like you go in dungeons and there's enemies who are ranked and you have to level up to be able to fight them, and you can go
Gotcha.
on raids with teammates and stuff
Gotcha.
like that. I just really remember the story kind of not making a lot of sense, not very exciting. I know they did a sequel. I played it maybe twice.
Okay.
Never could get into it.
Yeah, I didn't even have an inkling to buy it when it came out. And this is not like we get epic video game trailers almost the same way you get movie trailers.
Right.
And I think I have become a snob in the fact that the trailer sells me before I even play it. But I feel like I've become that way because video games have become so expensive. And I would hate to spend $55, $60 on something and after a few minutes go, I hate this.
Yeah.
I just dislike it.
And
So,
demos aren't a thing anymore.
they're not.
That
used to be where we judged I'm getting it or I'm not. And I think that's because maybe they saw sales dwindle with demos.
Yeah.
Because they're automatically going, I'm not getting it.
People basically realize that, if we let people play the game first and they don't like it, we're not going to sell any copies.
It's Russian roulette.
So,
It's a crapshoot, so...
well, people put out, unfinished games all the time. Mm-hmm. The recent WWE game is an example of that. It was just, I haven't played it myself, but I've seen the videos. I've heard everything about it. It's a complete disaster.
Obviously unfinished
and
a nightmare.
I'm sort of one of those people that feels like buying the extra content, like they know in advance, we're going to release downloadable content later on. Well, I'm paying for the game now. I feel like I should get it now. I don't
need
like that.
patches. Don't send me patches
yeah.
in 3 months. I want the game good now.
But that's just the old
school.
old man in me.
Get off our lawn.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We got Battlefield 4.
I did not play it.
I didn't either.
It's a war game.
There's battles on fields and potentially 4 of them.
There's now been 4 of them. So we'll go ahead and combine these 17 and 16. 17 is Battlefield 4. 16 is Battlefield 1. I did play a little bit of it because it was in the Game Pass a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. Reminded me a little bit of like a modern, or not Modern Warfare, Medal of Honor.
Oh, yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah, I do.
I did not dislike those. I liked those pretty good. The first 3. Then it just got ridiculous. So yeah, Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1. Moving on, we have Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Mm-hmm. So that's 17, 16, and 15 war games.
Right.
All war games. Did you play Infinite Warfare?
I can't remember.
I did not.
I might have. I've played a lot of the Call of Duties just because I really enjoy the campaigns.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a solo player, I'm not much of a multiplayer guy. So I did play through a lot of those because I enjoy the shooter games and I enjoy the story behind them. But I honestly can't remember. I know there's one of those Call of Duty games where you start out like you're in a spaceship. It could be that one.
A spaceship?
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh, yeah. Very futuristic.
Yeah, maybe that's why I stopped liking them, because I liked the old school
history,
World War II feel and all that. Number 14.
Mario Kart 8.
I did play this.
I did too, a lot of it. My sister-in-law, Beth Ann, could wipe the floor with anybody in Mario Kart.
Challenge accepted.
You might want to rethink that, buddy, because I thought that way too. And then she didn't mess around with Mario Kart. I think she's had too much time on her hands because right out the gate, the light turns green and she's like half
Zoom.
a mile ahead of me.
She hits that boost.
She's crazy.
I've enjoyed the Mario Kart games ever since the Super Nintendo one, since the beginning. When it was
Right.
literally just Mario, Luigi, Toad, Peach, Donkey Kong, and
Bowser. Did you ever, like in recent times, try to go back and play?
I tried to play 64.
Oh man, that's manageable.
Rainbow Road is still my stuff, man. Nobody beat me on it.
The old racing games like Super Nintendo and early
Yeah.
Nintendo 64, they're so difficult because
bad.
you can't tell where you're going.
No.
The horizon just sort of
Keeps coming at you.
real fast before you
And
know
then
what's
boom,
happening.
they're supposed to turn.
Yep.
There was an arcade game like that. And the 64 game I had that was a racing, it was a Lamborghini racing
Was
game.
it Cruising USA?
That was the arcade game.
Okay.
That was like that. But I had a Lamborghini racing game for Nintendo 64, and it was the hardest game I have ever played in my life. I was like, this is not how you drive. This isn't even how you drive on a video
7-year-old
game.
Tyler, this is not how
This
you drive.
cannot
Come
be
on.
driving. I don't want to drive if this is what it's like. Enjoyed Mario Kart. Moving on, we got number 13, The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim.
Yeah.
I have played this since its inception. Since it came out in 2012,
Sounds about
2013, around there.
Maybe even before then, to be honest.
It has been out for years. Hopefully we'll
People still play it?
get an announcement soon about a 6.
Yeah.
And people are still playing it because they keep coming out with these funny mods that you can, and they've got the special edition, and with the special edition that's now on Game Pass comes just mod after mod after mod. You can turn them on, turn them off.
I don't know if I've talked about this on the show or not, but someone introduced me to the Macho Man mod.
Yes, you have.
Where the
dragon.
dragons are Macho Man.
Yes.
They've got the boots and the hat, and they're going, oh yeah, been to the top of the mountain.
Yeah! When
makes-
they blow fire.
It makes me it makes me laugh so hard.
I've had mods turned on like Geralt of Rivia's armor,
Oh, okay.
which is pretty cool. I have gotten to wear Targaryen armor, which is cool. There's one mod that you fly, but it's not flying. It's literally like you're just running in the sky, and it's pretty humorous. It's like you just basically have turned gravity off.
You could do that in the old Jedi Knight Dark Forces games on like the PC and
Really?
stuff. You know, Elder Scrolls is something that I just really want to like. I feel like I would really enjoy the story and the world because
Yeah.
I love fantasy and all that stuff. I have tried, I don't know, probably 4 different times to get into Skyrim, man, and I just can't do it. It's just not for me.
I like it, I think, because it's got a big Game of Thrones feel.
Right.
With the dragons and the different, I mean, there's even a town called Windhelm, which is that whole area is very Winterfell. So I still like it. I hope we get a 6 soon. This is probably the first time where I'm going to say on this list, I feel like it should be a little further ahead than it is.
I'm surprised by it,
Yeah.
actually.
Shall we move on?
We're going to go ahead and combine 12 and 11. So number 12, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 would be the remake of the old,
Yes.
the
Modern
original
Warfare.
Modern Warfare, which came out, I guess, in like 2008 or 9.
Yeah.
And then 11, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. So I'm, like we talked about Infinite Warfare earlier, I can't keep track of which ones I've played and which ones I haven't.
Yeah.
I know I played the original Modern Warfare. Not
did too.
Not the new one.
No, the original one that came out in the early 2000s.
Advanced Warfare, if I knew what year it was, I could probably tell you. If I was still working at GameStop, I would get excited about the Call of Duty games a lot more. And
Yeah.
I would play them when I was working
And
there.
the storylines are good.
Yeah.
I didn't play either one of those. So number 10 on this list is Minecraft.
Minecraft is still pretty popular. The kids talk about it a lot at school. I never played it myself. It was never something I got into. But Minecraft is one of those things like kids wear the shirts and they have the merchandise that goes along with
the
it.
Sword or your pickaxe or whatever the heck that comes with your character.
You can like build your own little worlds and everything. And I know that's something that you would actually probably really enjoy because there was the thing on Fortnite where you could build your own little islands on Fortnite, and you would spend a lot of time doing that.
I think it's the graphics. I've been spoiled by the.
Oh yeah.
I want it to look real.
Yeah.
And Minecraft's not real enough for me.
But Fortnite is.
But yeah, I guess Fortnite.
It does look better than Minecraft.
Yeah. But I have not played it. I remember when I was teaching, it was on all the iPads at school, and it was a reward. So kids could earn 30 minutes on the iPad.
And they love that
all
stuff.
they do is play Minecraft. Moving on.
How about 9 and 8 will combine again, if that's not a big clue for you. Number 9, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I remember when there was only a Black Ops 1 back in my day.
We had to shoot up hills both ways.
And then number 8, Call of Duty WW2.
And I did play this one.
I don't know if I did or not.
I did play this one because when I saw that World War II, I was like,
Is this one pretty new?
Yes, but it also...
Well, I've got the Google right in front of me.
You've
Why
got
don't
the
I just
Google.
find out about that?
Black Ops 4, I think I played. If I remember correctly, you are the son of the character you played in the first 3 Black Ops, if I remember correctly. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. There are just so many Call of Duties I cannot keep counting.
Call of Duty World War II came out in November of 2017, so it is pretty recent. I do remember this. Looking at the picture, it's got the guy with the helmet, and he's got his hands on his gun. Yeah, I did want to play that, and I never did.
I liked it because it was World War II, and it was a nice change of pace from the modern era war.
I think I would like it too, because one thing about the Modern Warfare games that I didn't like was like you had to control robots and weird things like that, and I hated all that. I just want to
your drone. I want to be a soldier.
I just want to run around and shoot stuff.
Yeah. Again, that goes along with the theme of this show. This title of this episode is both of those are war games. Number 9, Black Ops 4. Number 8, World War II. Number 7, Red Dead Redemption 1.
Oh, yeah.
We liked these. Mm-hmm. This was an enjoyable game. We liked the first one.
I did like the first one.
Very much so. I loved the character. Sad ending.
Yeah.
Sad ending. Kind of sucked. Didn't see it coming. Now, the sequel was technically a prequel. If I remember correctly.
Yes.
The sequel came out a couple years ago, and it's actually set before the first Red Dead Redemption.
And I know it's been very popular, and I guess the reason that it's not on this list is because it came out close to the end of the decade. It came out like late 2018.
Yeah.
So it's not really had time to match
rebought
all these games, but the sequel was superb.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Beautiful. Like a beautiful world. Yeah. Like you felt like you were there.
It took me a long time to play through that game because the story just goes on and on forever.
And you've got to do things like shower and clean your clothes.
And shave and eat.
And shave and eat. And it's like, dadgummit, you're getting too real for me now.
I mean, you can not shower and people will react to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a really cool little feature to have.
It's a cool aspect.
But sometimes I wonder, like, part of the idea of playing video games is to escape real life. Must we have to shave
stink at the same time? Must our characters smell bad? Moving on.
Hey, I'll take this one.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and save y'all some time. And I want to give you numbers 6 through 2. Okay? Call of Duty Ghosts at number 6. 5, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Number 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Number 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops.
It literally sounds like a reward show, like you're reading off, like, and the nominees are...
That's a lot of duty.
It is a lot of duty. And there's just no call for it. Did you play any of those?
Let's see. I
I did not play Ghost.
I think I did play Ghosts. Did not play Black Ops 3.
I did play Black Ops.
Did play Modern Warfare 3.
I didn't play that.
I think that came out right when I started at GameStop.
Yeah.
Black Ops 2, I did not play. Black Ops 1, I did play, and I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. You got to play like through Vietnam and all that stuff, and the Kennedy assassination was a part of it.
But the cool thing about Black Ops 1, 2, and 3 is you were one character through that whole trilogy. Mason.
Okay.
Was your name. It was really cool. Really cool. And 4, you played Mason's son. I also liked those early Black Ops because they introduced us to the zombies, Nazi zombies.
Oh, yeah.
Which everyone loves that variant of game for Black Ops because everybody loves zombies.
Yeah.
I did not play Modern Warfare 3. I got out of the Modern Warfares pretty quick after the first one because it just, I don't know what it is about me. It just got too modern. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, I hear you.
Wanting to shoot, I
well,
want to shoot Nazis and
all the computers and robots and spaceships that you have to fool with. Some people are into that stuff. Me, I was like no.
Match the green with the screen so you track properly. You know, as this moves, you have to move this, and like, okay, am I playing a puzzle game or a war game?
Yeah.
But yeah, wow. I mean, you knocked that part out of the list like in a heartbeat. So that just leads to number 1 already.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a war game.
It's not. Depending on how you play it.
Yeah. I guess it does depend on how you play it. So number 1 is Grand Theft Auto 5. Did you play it?
I played it a lot.
I enjoyed it.
I love Grand Theft Auto 5. I think Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of my favorite games ever.
Really?
I've replayed it
good.
multiple times. It's just, I love a good long story, which this has. You have choices that you can make. Mm-hmm. You know, that's in the game.
Pretty big world.
You know, we love to run around and shoot stuff. That's a part of it. There's humor to it. You can fly things. Humor. Sometimes I would spend just, a big chunk of time just driving around.
Pissing off the cops, seeing how long you can last.
The greatest thing that happened one time, somebody cut me off when I was leaving like one of our bases or something in the game, and they crashed into a telephone pole, and the firemen came, and the cops came, but they started bumping into each other, and they got into a fight. So the firemen were punching each other. And then more cops came, and it was just like people were getting punched out and dead and everything.
You're just sitting in your car.
Then something caught on fire, a car exploded. I wish I had videoed it. You can do that on your Xbox. You can share things. I wish I'd done it.
Clips.
That was the coolest thing ever. That's the thing about it. Like, there's tons of non-playable characters walking around.
Yes.
And they react
to
what you do, and it's great.
What I enjoyed is it had the Grand Theft Auto feel that we, loved from Vice City and San Andreas and GTA 3. I did not like 4. Maybe it was the Russian aspect from playing Nico. I know when it came out, Logan and me tried to play it. We tried.
It wasn't for me.
Did not like it. They tried to take you back to Liberty City, and Liberty City was changed too much. And I would be like, this is not... Liberty City. That was GTA 3.
Before Grand Theft Auto, Vice City was the real deal. That was my game.
I enjoyed Vice City.
Yeah.
That white Lambo, you get to drive around.
Yes, sir.
Purchase things like clubs and restaurants and stuff like that.
It's kind of funny that I really had no interest in Grand Theft Auto. I remember when it was coming out.
Yeah.
And everybody was so excited about it. But this was my first year teaching middle school. I had 8th grade that year. And the kids, these boys were like, "Oh, Mr. D, Grand Theft Auto comes out today. You're going to get it?" And I was like, "No, I don't care about that, And they talked about it. "Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be so great." And I was like, "You know what? I'm going to check it out. I want to check it out." And then the next thing I know, I'm sitting, at the end of the day talking to the boys about the storyline in Grand Theft Auto 5 and which buddy are you going to save? Are you going to try to save them both and all this?
There's a character in GTA 5 that's played by a Walking Dead character. Mm-hmm. He is Negan's right-hand man in Walking Dead.
Trevor is the character.
He's kind of the comedic redneck nut job in GTA 5.
Yeah, the first scene that you see him in, he stomps a guy's head in.
Yeah, and when he came out as Negan's right hand, it's kind of the voice before we meet Negan in that early seasons of
Walking Dead
that have Negan on it. So it's season 7.
Yeah.
late season 6, early season 7, when he first showed up, I was like, oh my god, that's Trevor.
Yeah.
Like, it is Trevor, like, because he was in the mocap suit as well for his GTA character. So I was like, I'm literally watching Trevor be not Trevor. He's Negan's right hand. So it's just weird.
They take like 5 or 6 years to do those games.
Yeah.
Because they have to do the motion capture and the voiceover work and all that. And
The city building,
but the actors themselves also play multiple other characters too.
Yeah.
I found out. So it takes them a long time, and I'm sure there will be a Grand Theft Auto 6, but I bet it'll be quite a while.
yeah.
And I bet it'll be. I mean, they've got a lot to live up to.
With
this being
5?
the number one game of the decade.
number one game, not of the year, of the decade.
So big shoes to fill. I say take your time, make it as good as it can possibly be, and let's see if
Absolutely.
they dominate the next decade.
I hope they do. I hope they do. So I thought we'd play a little game.
Let's do it.
That was top 20 of this past decade.
Yeah.
I would like to go and look at the past top 20 of 2000 through 2009.
The glory days.
And let's compare to what sold then to what sells now.
All right, let's do it.
So, we'll just do this pretty quickly and in descending order. So number 20 was Madden NFL 06. Did you ever play any of the football games?
I played, I think it was like 03 or 04 or somewhere around then. I did play that one, but I was never
Do you remember the
huge...
Blitz game where you could beat the crap out of
Yes.
each other? I did play that.
I remember that.
I did play those. Number 19,
GTA 4.
we just talked about that. We were not massive fans, but
No.
it was number 19 in the previous decade. Number
If it's
18,
Grand Theft Auto, it's going to sell.
GTA is going to sell because it's a therapeutic game, kind of,
Yeah.
if you think about it. Number 18, Halo 2. I did love the Halo games. It was very weird not to see a Halo at least 4 or 5 in this past
I think
decade.
that the hype on Halo kind of died down
Yeah,
towards the end of the decade.
yeah, it did. So, moving on, number 17.
Madden NFL 2009.
That one I skipped, I think. Moving on to number 16, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Just talked about this.
Love that one.
Favored game, probably in the history of gaming for me.
Me too.
Be interesting. We need to do another episode soon of us rating our top 20.
We should.
And we'll see how similar,
wish
how
that-
different.
They would remake Vice City
Yeah.
for the new
Newer
systems.
graphill for the
Yeah.
newer system.
Leave all
Same
the
story-
voices and
same
all that
story,
stuff,
Same voices, just remake with the
update
graphics. Update it, yeah. Number 15.
I get all these.
You do.
Madden NFL 2008.
Yeah. 14, Halo 3. It's a funny story about Halo 3. I had just started at Walter State. I had just got my first rebate check. It was a lot of money because I got a lot of financial assistance from different grants and all that. The first thing I bought was Xbox 360 with Halo 3. And we would spend hours at the BCM. Hours at the BCM playing Halo 3.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yes.
I got my Xbox 360 the same exact way at the same exact time. Fall of Walter State, first
crap.
rebate check. What do? I go to GameStop and I get a 360, which also came with Halo 3. And I bet yours came with, and you probably don't remember, Fable 2.
It did.
It came with that as well. And I was far more interested in Fable than I
bet you
was
were.
Halo.
Yeah. I liked the Fable games. I did like the
They
Fable
didn't
games.
make the cut. It's
In
crazy.
any decade. That's crazy. Moving on. Another favorite of yours.
Why?
By the sound of-
Why is this
Number
happening?
13.
Madden NFL 2007. So
07
we're
was a-
descending in the years here. We had 09 as 17, 08 as 15, and 2007 as number 13.
07 was a good year, though. We graduated.
We did.
We did. Number 12, Rock Band 2.
Yeah.
Loved the Rock Band games, the reenacting of being in a band and just melting people's faces with my blue, yellow, green, red combos.
I used to be pretty good at the old Rock Band.
Yeah.
I was one of those guys that could play expert on most songs on the guitar.
Because of
You
our
might
hand-eye
remember that a
coordination.
little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Moving on.
Guitar Hero 2. This one was huge for me. I remember like senior year, high school, maybe junior year, like all the guys in choir.
Yeah.
We would get together and we would play rock band and Guitar Hero and stuff.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero 2 specifically.
Me and Caleb and Matt Grooms would eat this game alive, and we played it so much that not on expert, but on hard, on YYZ by Rush. There's no words; it's just guitar.
You know,
I could put my back to the screen and play it on hard, memorized, and almost get 100% every time.
I could do that with Message in a Bottle.
Yeah. The first time I did it to Caleb and Matt, I'd been practicing at my house. They also had it. So when I'd be at Caleb's, I finally, I'd practiced it enough. I was like, okay, I'm getting pretty close to 100%. So I just turned around, looked at them, performed it, got 98%. They were like, what was that?
What sorcery is
And I was
this?
just like, that was my retirement
That,
song.
my friends, is dedication.
That's dedication. Moving on, we've got number 10, Call of Duty World at War.
And they strike back. Boom.
They do.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Now, is this the first? Now, this is the first Call of Duty we've seen in this list of the previous decade.
And you said earlier the thing about zombies being in Black Ops. I think that zombies actually started in this one.
Debuted in World at War.
I think
yes.
so. Yeah.
That was the first time we got to see Nazi zombies.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas. So we've got 2 Grand Theft Autos on this list so far. 3.
4 Vice City
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
San
right.
Andreas.
Yeah, so 3 Grand Theft Autos. Like we said, Grand Theft Auto's gonna sell, people.
And it's been around for longer than most people know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, GTA 1 and 2 were like those terrible PlayStation 1 games that the view is down. It's like a bird's eye view. The whole game is a bird's eye view. I tried to go back and play that one time, and it was impossible.
Oh, yeah.
So San Andreas I liked. It gave me a very 90s hip-hop vibe.
Yeah.
Get to hear all the 90s hip-hop like Eazy-E and Tupac and all that on the radio.
This was the first one that I can recall where you could go to the gym and increase your strength and your stamina and all that
Muscles.
stuff.
You needed to eat. You could keep a girlfriend. And Sam Jackson voiced a character in it.
Of course he did.
He was the main cop. He was a bad guy. But yeah, I remember San Andreas. So moving on. Number 8, Mario Kart Wii.
I didn't play this one. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Played it, but I did not have a Wii. I played it at a friend's house.
I was terrible at it. Because I can never quite figure out how to hold the Wii motes and do things right.
Yeah.
I was thinking they did a Mario Kart for the Wii U, I think.
Yes, they
That's
did.
the one that I
Yes.
never played.
Yes.
But I did play this one.
Moving on.
I'll go ahead and take these
Go ahead.
because I'm getting all the repeats. 7 and 6, folks. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. So I guess that's the original, the OG
original Modern
Warfare, and I did play that. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the sequel to the original Modern Warfare, and I played that one as well.
I did too. I think that's where I stopped playing the
I
modern
can't
games.
tell you anything about the storyline. I don't remember anything about it, but I did play it.
I think you are Modern Warfare. You started different storyline. It might be
It's like
where you started Soap and Price.
I think so.
Yeah,
a lot of it
that
is
storyline.
based in the Middle East.
Yeah, I think that's where you start with the characters Price and Soap. The new revamped one is a younger Price from these games.
Gary Oldman did the voice of Price.
Yes, he did. It's phenomenal.
Fun fact.
Which, I mean, he could play him in a live action movie because they made the game character kind of look like Gary Oldman.
should.
So, moving on, number 5. Guitar Hero World Tour.
Yeah.
Now, this was the first Guitar Hero that brought in all the other instruments because Rock Band had already done it.
Yep.
This brought in the bass, the drums, and I always had my sister Peyton, if ever I was on drums, she would just grab the pedal, and I'd say, whenever you see that yellow line pop up, you push that pedal, okay? Because I couldn't do a double bass.
You know,
I couldn't seesaw my foot.
You had the option of leaving the bass part out.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that? You could go to the options of the game and you could check no bass for the drum set, and you could totally skip that.
Huh.
Because a lot of people had a hard time with that.
Huh.
Yeah. Now you know, 12 years later.
Something that should have been brought to my attention yesterday.
Fun fact, early college days, when I lived at the Scenic House, we played this game a lot.
We did. We would rock out to, there was What I've Done from Linkin Park was on there.
Right.
We'd overplay the heck out of that one.
Yeah, we did. I was a big Linkin Park guy around that time.
Yes, you were.
I was.
Anywhere we'd go and there was a piano, you would play the piano version of Numb. You'd be like, everybody watch this, watch this, watch this, watch me. Everyone shut up and watch me.
I did not.
And I'd be in the corner like, everyone watch Bach over here.
You're exaggerating a little bit.
All right, moving on. We've got number 4. We play. We play what?
I don't know. I don't know what this is.
I don't know. What do we play?
Well, let's find out. Oh, Google. What is We Play?
Yeah, I think it's the avatars.
Oh, yeah,
you create your avatar.
Yeah, this is like you could play like
Tennis,
skydiving,
bowling,
and darts, and
okay,
things like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I didn't personally.
There was one where you could do something similar to Duck Hunt on it. Table tennis, like Forrest Gump.
You mean ping pong?
Same thing. There was a tank game, stuff like that.
Battle tanks.
This came out in 2007, February 2007.
I didn't personally own a Wii, so
I did for a time, but
Peyton
I just
had
didn't
one,
do much
but
with it.
I never was allowed to go in a room to play it. So
Big Brothers
just
sucks.
never played Wii. Number 3, Rock Band.
The original Rock
OG.
Band. Kind of took what Guitar Hero did and expanded on it a little bit and made it better.
Yeah, vocals, drums, guitar,
And bass.
or you can always do a second guitar, rhythm and lead. One of the craziest things I've ever seen is I also, just a few years ago, learned that there was an option on Rock Band in these Rock Band games to where you could
Turn off the bass pedal? That was today.
Jerk. We used to have these Rock Band nights at Kelly's house, Kelly Ward, from the Theater Guild. And David Horton, who is this... He's one of those that a lot of the things he touches it turns to gold.
Uh-huh.
And it's bullcrap, is what it is. And he was like, have you ever seen freehand? You can set your solos to freehand in the options. And I went, what? So he turned on Freebird. And instead of the regular, it's just this red screen, and he can freehand his own solo and he would tear it up.
I bet he did.
I was like, I hate him. I mean, it was beautiful. I was like, I'm jealous, because then I tried a freehand solo. Didn't sound the same when I did it.
Bless your heart.
Because I'm like, I'm going to throw a little bit of green, blue, red. Doesn't sound good, okay. But I loved the Rock Band. I wish that they would make a comeback, kind of.
They tried to do another Guitar Hero.
It was like live streaming thing.
It was terrible. They changed all the controls. They got rid of the color thing. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I played it like 3 times and said, I'm done with this. Now, what was cool about it was that, like, the song you were playing, they showed the music video in the background. I did like that rather than looking at the video game characters on a stage
doing terrible dances.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. But other than that, the gameplay itself, awful, garbage.
Well, maybe they'll fix it and reboot it one day.
I think they should.
We can raise our kids on, and we will create a family band. And
well,
we will,
actually, I
have a tour around the world.
I have a Rock Band guitar.
I see
sitting
it
right there.
I see it.
And you could actually use that on Guitar Hero sometimes.
Do you still have either one of those games?
I have Guitar Hero Aerosmith.
Gotcha.
And I think I have Guitar Hero 2, but oddly enough, the guitar does not work on Guitar Hero 2.
Do you remember when we played the Beatles version?
Yeah.
At a cast party?
Yeah.
For the first Wizard of Oz, and we were the whole night we were in character.
Yeah.
We're the Beatles. Yeah. Moving on, number 2. We Fit.
How many moms do you know back when we were in college who said, I'm going to get away, I'm going to do the Zumba, I'm going to do the We Fit.
I'm going to lose 35 pounds.
Honey, I'm going to be in shape from this video game.
We're going to look good next summer. I'm telling you.
I think some people did have some success with it.
Yeah.
I was not one of those people who was interested in Wii Fit, to be honest.
Oh,
I
'cause
remember
we
it-
like to shoot things.
At GameStop, though, those darn balance boards that they came out with the Wii Fit.
Oh gosh,
I guess they
yes.
weighed you and stuff. Those things were like the friggin' blight of
Yeah.
GameStop. People would bring them in to resell them and stuff, and we had piles and piles of these things that went with Wii Fit. Oh man, it was like a tower of Wii Fit balance boards in the back of the store. So I remember those well.
Moving on to the number one selling video game of 2000 through 2009
Hang
is.
on, let me give you a little.
And we need a drum roll, Sergeant.
Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock. Wow. It's kind of hard to believe that that's the number one game of that decade, of 2000 through 2009.
I don't think it's unbelievable, because if you look at this list, if you remember the impact that those type of games made in that decade.
Well, I mean, we've got tons of memories about these games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I agree with that aspect of it, but 2 was so much better than 3. 3
Yeah.
was the one where you could do the battles, the guitar battles that you could have in that game.
Yes.
Like, you know, you'd be against somebody and you could do little moves that, like, you know how you could do the star power thing? You could
Yeah.
flip the guitar and it would give you extra points on this.
Yeah.
You could build things up. And when you do your star power, it sends like a mess up to your opponent.
Yes.
So like their buttons would be backwards
Yes.
or upside down, or the strings would break. It was so frustrating.
Yeah. I played it a little bit, not as much as I played the... once Rock Band became a thing, Guitar Hero kind of went out for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really play this. I played it at a friend's house if they had it, but I didn't own it.
Right.
But yeah, so let's make a little comparison.
So this past decade, the decade of war games, as you so aptly named the
Yes.
episode, and the decade before is, I guess, the decade of rock
Of rock, yeah.
in games.
Absolutely. Or a decade of I want to be in a band. You know?
Yeah.
Because we were in a band together once.
Yeah, we were.
We were.
We played no music.
We took
Some great
pictures, though.
pictures.
So yeah, I think the comparison's fun to do. When I was working on these notes for this episode, and I had already kind of marked out, like, okay, I'm already done with this past decades. I wonder what the previous decades was. So I looked it up, and I was like, wow, a lot of music. And
Maybe-
now it's a lot of massacre.
Maybe when we do our Nerdin' in the 90s part 2,
Yes.
we shall also discuss some of the top video games of that decade.
Yes.
I bet that will be very exciting.
Ocarina of Time.
It's got to be up there.
Number one.
WCW NWO Revenge?
Yeah.
Come on. Mario 64?
I would say
Come on.
that 1 and 2 are either GoldenEye or Ocarina of Time.
GoldenEye's got to be at least in the top 3.
3.
Goodness gracious.
Absolutely. Do you know I have 64 and GoldenEye?
I have a 64, but I don't have GoldenEye.
We should
I have mostly
Sometime.
just the wrestling games.
crank that up.
I'm
definitely
down.
taking it to Atlanta with me. So there's definitely some familiar titles though in this list, like GTA and Call of Duty. And I would have to say that I was kind of shocked that, like I told you earlier, Halo 4 and 5 did not make it in this past decades, but you're very right. The steam kind of slowed down. Some things that I'm shocked that were not in this past decade.
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Well, I see what you mean by that, but Fortnite's free to play.
It is.
You don't really have
So
to purchase
how
the
would
game.
you purchase costumes? The weird thing is, it's made so much money on those purchases, and none of those purchases help your character be better in the game.
Yeah.
They're not upgrades. It's not like,
just
I
for
can
fun.
shoot faster. It's, I can dress as a T-Rex.
Yeah.
You know, and my glider can be a great white shark. And it's like, they've sold so much.
Some people are just easily amused.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's interesting about it is that, you know, for so long it's been you buy the game, you play online or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's like you get the game, sometimes you get the game for free, but there's pay to play and there's pay to get extra things. Like I am addicted to, I get such a hard time about it from you and my wife and everybody. There's this wrestling game that I play on my phone that I've just been addicted to for like 2 years. I'm in a I'm in the top 25 factions in the entire world, by the way. Just want to throw that out there.
It's Bejeweled.
It's basically like Bejeweled.
That's all it is.
But it's wrestlers and stuff. But like, the people who are really good at the game are the people who spend money on the game. I don't spend money on the game.
There was a mobile game that we were addicted to. You, me, and Becky. That we also spent quite a bit of money on.
Is it the Family Guy game?
Yes.
I actually opened that up and played it a little bit like 3 or 4 days ago.
Yeah.
I kept up with it for a while.
I have not played it in a long time.
In that game, you could build your own Quahog and unlock all the characters and stuff. Mm-hmm. I love unlocking things and collecting things.
There's a success
in
to it. There's like this feeling of ha.
That's like the wrestling game. Like you get all the wrestlers and you level them up and build them up and stuff. I have a roster of like 160 wrestlers
from different
eras. Yeah. And you have to collect tokens to upgrade them. So if you don't want to spend the time like farming for the tokens or for coins to upgrade them for free, which is what I have to do, you can fork out some money for a chance at the things you need. You don't get to pick what you want or what you get. You pay for basically chances, like gambling.
Yeah. Okay.
And the number one faction in the world, I was told, the number one group in this game, one of the guys in that group is like a prince in Saudi Arabia or something. So he just like spends unlimited amounts of money on the game.
He's probably getting through email scams.
Who knows? So he doesn't have to put in the work in the game, really. He just buys whatever he wants, and his whole faction benefits from it as well.
Yeah.
So they're like number one in the world.
Speaking of that earlier generation, do you remember when that was a big thing? Going around, you'd get an email from a prince in Saudi Arabia.
No, I never got that.
And you'd get an email from this prince saying, like, his money has been frozen.
I've heard about it before.
But he just needs $100 from you, and he'll send you back 1,000 as a thank you.
I never got it. The prince was never interested in me.
People lost so much money to those.
I guess the prince knew I didn't have $100.
I didn't either.
That I wouldn't give it to him.
I got you $1. That's what I got you $1. So now that we've discussed not just the past decade but the previous, I'm curious. What titles do you feel may have gotten the shaft?
Oh, my Lanta.
I, for one, am shocked there's no Arkham titles.
I'm not really shocked by that. Well, maybe the fourth one, Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
That one was very popular. A little surprised that didn't make the cut. The Fable games in the previous decade. Fallout. Definitely. Where's Fallout? Why no Fallout?
I don't know.
So this just goes to show that there's so many people who are gamers, and they only play these war games, the Call of Duties and the Battlefields and whatever else there are. They only play those competitive online shooter games. Yeah. And that's it.
It's still kind of making the way through popularity, but not just Arkham and Fallout. So do you think that Fallen Order came out way too late?
Yeah, and Star Wars is so specific, Yeah. I don't think that's one that... I don't really see any Star Wars game making the top 10 list except for like Knights of the Old Republic.
Battlefront made it, but it's
that's true. It was last though,
and it was last.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I'm kind of shocked Arkham didn't make it because it's Batman. It'd be different if I were shocked that other nerdy stuff didn't make it, but I just feel like I thought Batman would be somewhere.
None of the Need for Speed games.
Resident Evil didn't make it.
No FIFA.
Mortal Kombat.
Games. Mortal Kombat? Come on.
It's just crazy. Because how many of these do you think you actually played?
I mean,
less than half?
Hit or miss, man.
Both of these lists, less than half?
And the problem with the Call of Duty games is that they just sort of blend together. I can't keep up with which ones I play.
Kind of like those Max Payne games.
Oh, man.
They just, the same thing. You walk into a room, shoot a bunch of people, you cry a little bit,
and there's a story.
And there's a story.
That's it. Yeah.
I just don't know where Call of Duty can go. I really don't at this point. It's kind of like Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh man, there's like 12 of those.
There's 9 now. And did you say who's playing Dom's brother?
John Cena.
I didn't see him.
I heard. I didn't see him there. No,
That's
I mean,
where he's been there the entire time in the franchise. You just couldn't see him.
allegedly.
Allegedly he's been there. So that's it for our video game conversation. We would like to hear from you. I know we're repeating that a lot. We want to hear from you because we like to hear from you.
Talk to me, please.
Are there video games that you feel that got the shaft? Or maybe should have been number 10 instead of number 2 or something like that? Please let us know. You know where to contact us. We tell you every episode. So next week, we're going to have a nice conversation about the cute side of the nerd world. It can be cute. It can be very cute.
I think we're pretty cute.
Yes, we are. So since Valentine's Day is upon us, next week is Valentine's Day.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh man, I've got some work to do.
Saturday.
Holy cow.
Next Friday or next Saturday?
Next Friday.
Next Friday is Valentine's Day. So we thought we would discuss, not list, because we just did a list.
Yeah.
We did a Gotham list.
Ranking is hard.
Ranking is very difficult. So we're just going to talk about some of the best nerd couples in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Like Superman and Lois Lane. Everyone knows of that.
Everybody loves them.
Everyone loves them.
And how about some more obscure couples that only certain nerds would know, like Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth?
Yes. Or,
See? You're going to have to tune in, too, because you can't even think of it.
Stephanie and H.
Stephanie McMahon and Triple H.
Yes.
How about Han and Leia?
Han and Leia, that's a very good couple of the nerd world. We may even have to get the listeners to vote on who the power couple of the nerd world is after that week.
Well, yeah, we'll let them decide.
Yeah, they can decide.
I think we've debated this before. We disagreed.
I think we did disagree.
We did. We'll talk about that.
We will.
Next time.
Absolutely. Next time. We want to thank our Patreon supporters. If you're interested, you can check us out at patreon.com/30andnerdy. Also, all you listeners, thank you. This has been fun. Like Josh said earlier, this is my last one for a while live. This has been fantastic. I'm glad that you chose me to go down this little fun adventure. I know it's not ending, but it will definitely be very different looking at a wall as opposed to your ugly mug.
Hey.
But thank you. This has been fun, and I can't wait to see where else 30 and Nerdy goes in the future.
Only to infinity and beyond.
Absolutely.
Because you are the Buzz to my Woody.
Absolutely. You've got a friend in me, my friend. Absolutely. So thank you all for listening, and I guess we will catch you all next week.
We will catch you nerds later.
You've been listening to the 30 and Nerdy podcast with your hosts, Josh Davis and Tyler McDaniel. Brought to you by Advertising Expressions, Encore Theatrical Company, and Freddy Cat Productions. 30 and Nerdy is a Next Wave podcast and a Badcast Company production. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Join the conversation using the hashtag 30andNerdyPod. Find us in the Pod Nation on podchaser.com and rate this episode. Got something to say? Let us know. Email us at 30andnerdypod@gmail.com. Cheers to you, nerds.
That's all, folks.
Hey everybody, this is